Hey everybody, JJ here. Back again with another Wednesday of Zoom networking. Thrilled to be here, really excited about today's guest speaker. I always talk about the importance of networking, making ourselves known, networking with intention. It's important if we want to take our business to the next level. We want to get out and meet people. We want to surround ourselves with exceptional individuals. And that means, getting out of your comfort zone and talking to people. And occasionally as you do that, you're going to meet someone who's absolutely phenomenal. And our guest speaker is that person. He's someone I've met recently. He is an investor, started as a student. He's now a coach. He's extremely successful, and you'll hear about that today. He's a father, he's a husband, he's a family man, has the balance between business and his family. And as you all know, if you're doing that, that's extremely difficult. But he's just a great guy. I want to introduce my good friend, Matt Hayes. How are you, Matt?
I'm good, man. What's happening, guys? Happy to be here.
Oh, so glad to have you here, man. So let me get right down to it. For those that don't know you, what part of the country are you from?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Cool. So what did you do before you became a real estate investor? Have you always kind of been in that game?
Oh shit. Before I was an investor, man, I was a young, dumb kid. But no, on a more serious note, before I became a real estate investor, man, I was an entrepreneur. I'm still an entrepreneur. I've always had that entrepreneur mindset, making something out of nothing. There's a saying or whatever you want to call it. So a businessman will buy bananas for 50 cents and sell them for $1. Well, an entrepreneur will buy bananas and make a smoothie and sell it for $5. So that was always me. I've always had a business. I've always been doing different things. I still own 7 successful companies: granite fabrication, food service distribution, property management, coaching, real estate, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, man, I've always been at the game. I started in real estate 20 years ago. Got married at 21. So 19 years later, here I am. I'm actually in Clearwater, Florida at the moment. I'm part of the Collective Genius Mastermind group, which is just, an amazing group of guys, high-level investors. Trying to think of some names you guys might know. Ryan Pineda, hung out with him today. Kong, the real King Kong, right? Khang. You go to my Instagram, we were just hanging out at the bar and he grabbed me and pulled me outside. We did a little interview or whatever, but just a lot of cool people here, man. And I think that's that's something to be said, is that, being around a group of people like JJ's put here together that are, working on going on the same path, going on real estate, right? Learning from people that have done it. I mean, that's very important. And I appreciate the opportunity to be on here, man.
Well, brother, I'm honored to have you on the call. Not only you're a nice guy, but you're so, just low key, mellow, not over the top. You're just humble in your approach. I don't know if you said, somebody else said the other day to me that one of the things about maybe not a millionaire, but successful people is that they may live in a nice house, but their clothes are comfortable and casual, and their car is simple and easy, and they're not living extravagantly, like, showing off by their day-to-day possessions of what they're going out. Did you tell me that, or did somebody else tell me that?
I've always preached that a little bit. Like the dude standing in front of the Lambo, he probably rented it. The guy standing in front of the car, or the house, more than likely, it's not his. And JJ, I would love to provide, some serious tactical value to the whole group tonight. So I don't know. I've got a presentation deck that I can share here. If you guys would want to see it, I mean, just let me know. This is my family. This is me, St. Louis, Missouri. 4 amazing kids, beautiful wife. Just we live a very, very awesome life, man. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm a God-fearing man. 4 busy ass children. My hobbies are spending time in the water, the mountains, hanging with close friends and family. And here's the thing, guys. I was very similar to you. I was working my 9 to 5, busting my ass, 3 jobs at times, and just doing whatever it took to provide my family. But I always felt there was something else out there, something drawing me to real estate. And my gut was telling me, like, look, dude, this is not the way. You know, I used to detail cars. I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings. I had my 9 to 5 working for my dad. But here's the deal. 19 years ago, Blair and I got started on our real estate journey. We started with a land deal, quickly moved into single family. You know, now we do fix and flips, wholesales, long-term rentals, short-term rentals. We've completed over 1,000 transactions. I honestly have no idea how many. I think it might even be up over 2,000 transactions. But at the end of the day, guys, I really don't care about those kind of numbers. The short-term rental income that my wife and I make every single month, net profits 80 grand. So I'm just trying to give you some tactical numbers that I actually know what the hell I'm talking about. The current properties we have under contract to construction is 13. I also have some other businesses. I own a granite company, food service distribution, kind of talked a little bit about that stuff. But my passion and will always remain real estate, coaching and mentorship. And now it's helping people come up in this space and learning from my freaking costly mistakes. So tonight, I wanted to talk to you about the most superior exit strategy that exists today, and that's short-term rentals. And guys, this is what I've found over my career. And so what is short-term rental, Matt? What the hell are you talking about? Well, I'm sure you guys have heard of Airbnb, VRBO, HomeAway. It's a simple process of buying or renting a house, furnishing it, and managing it for guests at a nightly rate. It's like running a mini hotel. You're now in the hospitality business. Yes, there's more work up front, but the management can be automated or outsourced if you don't want to be involved in that day-to-day part of it. So I wanted to show you this. I have some case studies here. Now, bear with me for a moment. All right, this is a real address, 149 Hollow Creek, St. Peters, Missouri. It's an arbitrage deal. You guys can Google this one, and you can tell me yourself. This is the money we make, gross revenue, every single month on this property. Here's our rent, utilities, supplies, laundries, etc. $3,000 a month, net cash flow. Does this beat a long-term rental property? Fuck yeah, it does. Times 10. This is what it cost me to get into that property. $1,600 for the first month's security deposit. Furniture was 22 grand. This is the house, guys. This is a suburban Airbnb. You're like, Matt, that house is like around the corner from me, or shit, I'm living in that house, right? Here's another case study. 38 Emerson, Kansas City, Missouri. This is an arbitrage deal I did. These are both arbitrages, by the way. So what an arbitrage means is I'm renting a house from a landlord and I'm putting it on Airbnb. $6,500 a month. We're going to break 90 grand this year in gross revenue on this property. $1,700 a month paid in taxes, rent, all that stuff. That's my pay. I'm not paying the taxes. I'm not paying the insurance. I'm not paying this bank note. It's an arbitrage. I'm paying $1,700 a month. Utilities, supplies, laundry, all that other stuff, $1,200. We net $3,600 a month. All in, this property cost me $28,200. There it is. Now, I want to compare long-term rental versus short-term rental so that you can get an idea on what the goal here is. And here's the thing, guys. The goal is to own an asset and get somebody else to pay for it and make money every single month by holding it and have a large exit at the end. Now here's the down and dirty 412 St. Joseph Drive, O'Fallon, Missouri. I own this house. I purchased it for $182,500. There's my renovations. There's my purchase costs. Furniture, decor, stock, $9,600. Total all in, 199, or call it 200 grand, right? Down payment, stock, 40 grand. Payment, interest, taxes, insurance, $1,280 a month. Not the good part. That's what we did our first month having this property live, $5,200 in gross revenue. Here's all my expenses. Bam. 3 grand a month in freaking cash flow, guys. I'm telling you, y'all, stop doing long-term rentals. This is the house. This ain't a beachfront property. This ain't in the mountains. This isn't in Sedona or California or Florida or Texas or anywhere that's cool and famous. You said O'Fallon, Missouri. Some of you guys are probably like, where the hell is O'Fallon, Missouri? Well, Google it. That's where I grew up. Grew up in this neighborhood, actually. Same property compared to long-term rental. I could rent it for $1,800. That's it. That's my payment. That's my maintenance. There's the vacancy rate. I would make 10% a month on what I would as a short-term rental. It's 1,000% higher, man. Tell me which way you want to go. Now, here's the deal. Yes, I own some beachfront property. Here's a beach house I've got. Sunbelt Beach House down here. I'm in Clearwater, but a little bit south of us, Indian Rocks Beach. Pretty nice. 4-bedroom. Here's some numbers for you, okay? So the Sunbelt Beach House, Indian Rocks Beach, Florida. I purchased it for $1 million. All in, we were around 1.1 million. I sold a commercial piece of real estate in St. Louis, so I did a 1031 exchange. I had some money. I did not want to give Uncle Sam a freaking penny of it. So on this deal, my debt ended up being $700K. And now check this out. This is the numbers I ran, gave my bank, and did all this, right? Projected income, 12 grand, less management, payment, taxes, insurance, utilities, cleaning, the whole 9 yards. My monthly net projected was $3,200 a month. Well, holy shit, was I wrong. It took off. And now we're averaging $26,000 a month. Once I saw that, called my bank, shared with them the data, and they agreed to do a second on the property. They ran what's called an income-based or income approach appraisal, which means they're using the income that the property generates, similar to a commercial or a multifamily, and they came back at 2.2 million. Now this is 18 months later. So the bank lent me up to 65% of that. I pulled 750 grand out of that property, and this was a tax-free event. All right. So next, I want to talk to you guys about branding and marketing and how to do this outside your Airbnb, right? Like you have the Airbnb listing. Okay, that's up. You have the VRBO listing. Okay, that's up. But what do you do to help set your house apart and bring people into your property and have them book with you time and time and time after again? Well, this is how you do it. You plan to be in business for a while. You want to start early on this one. Branding is very important. We branded all our properties. We did that this year. Blair's house, of course, me and my wife. All right, step one, you need to register this as a fictitious name with your attorney. Simple process. Just get it out of the way, a little house cleaning. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to brand all these items that are in your house that you're providing your guests. So the water bottles, the snacks, soaps, shampoos, whatever the case may be. Any document that you have, any like a guest book or something that's on the wall, whatever, brand it. Nail down your direct booking website. Okay, don't go broke doing this. Just get it up. Don't spend months and months and months trying to figure that shit out. That's stupid. You go to the Guesty platform, they can very easily create it for you, and it's free. And they'll integrate it with all the other platforms. So once they click on your direct booking website, it automatically takes that listing off of Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, Mr. B&B, Expedia, Marriott, all those other ones. Then email marketing. Every month, you're hitting these people with emails. A new property, a new feature, happy Thanksgiving, whatever. You're just trying to stay top of mind. Okay, next, Google My Business. On each property with a direct link to your booking website and your phone number. You see, you have an address, so you can create a Google My Business listing that says Blair's house on Benton Avenue, right? Update the pictures and the content monthly on your Google My Business listing. Next, you're gonna get a Better Business Bureau listing, Yelp account. Yeah, I know it's a scam. Both of those are a bunch of crock of shit, but whatever, the elderly population looks at it, pay a few bucks a month, and you get Better Business Bureau, A+ accredited, put on your website, the front door of your property or window or whatever. Other thing you can do is a review platform to pump up your non-Airbnb reviews. Facebook, Google My Business, Yelp, Better Business Bureau, etc. Send thank you and holiday cards if you can capture their addresses. There's a trick to that. DM me if you want to know that. It goes into a little bit more detail. I'll send you the link there. Social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Reels, all that kind of stuff. Create one post story, one content post, one reel every single week. It's only 52. You know, you guys are probably watching 2 hours of Reels on your phone a day. I know you are. Don't tell me you're not. Don't shake your head at me. I know you're watching them. Okay, so create a few for your properties. Setting up your Airbnbs. All right, here we go. So do not shop the big box retailers. Shop for furniture on Facebook Marketplace. Yes, you can go to those outlets, but don't pay retail. Make sure you're getting a deal on that furniture. So the moving companies or the junk companies, sometimes they have secondary sites or secondary warehouses where they're selling off some of the stuff. And I'm telling you, it's decent stuff that you guys can use. Smart TVs are a must. We do 65-inch in the main area, 40 to 50 in the bedrooms. Ring video doorbells in the front door. Camera in the garage and in the backyard. Books, board games, blankets, hammocks in the backyard. Do everything that you can to stand out in a crowd to everybody else. We also do these arcade games, these vintage arcade games. Those have become a hit. We set up decibel meters in the backyard to cut down on neighbor complaints that if we hear some loud noise, we can message the guests, let them know to keep it down, settle down. You got a kitchen, you need to stock it. They need to be able to cook Thanksgiving dinner at this kitchen. Don't cheap out on this stuff. Do it right. Both coffee makers, right? Some of you guys aren't thinking of this. Some people like a pot. Some people like the Keurig. You got to hit both. Everything times 2. So if your plate sleeps 10, you need 10 plates, 10 forks, 10 knives, or excuse me, 20. So 20 of this, 20 of that, et cetera, et cetera. On a side note, I know you guys are thinking maybe this is very difficult to set up for me, but Blair, who's my wife, and the kids, we went down to Florida. We set up 3 properties in 10 days, spent 28 grand doing that. It can be done, guys, on a budget. Think of something creative you can do for your garage. So game room, theater room, hot tub, etc. Themed rooms. So the bedrooms. Go with the Star Wars theme. Marvel, beach, mountain, country, whatever you can. We like to gear towards families. So we're going to do bunk beds. We're going to really theme out those rooms so we draw that family atmosphere to our properties, no matter where they are. What value can you add that makes sense to your listing to stand out in the crowd? Professional pictures, always. No exceptions. Don't use your iPhone. Please don't cheap out. Find someone with a professional camera. Couple $100, get it done. So we do automatic locks on all the properties so that the automated message goes to the guest with the 4-digit code. All right. And we never did anything. It was all automated. We never actually intentionally messaged anybody unless they have a specific question that our automated messaging does not capture. Couple other golden nuggets, man. Rule number 1 and rule number 2 is make sure that the city allows short-term rentals and that the HOA allows short-term rentals. Find a property manager, hold them accountable if you don't want to be involved in the day-to-day. Talk to the neighbors, make it nice. Give them your cell phone numbers so that they can call you and you can stay off the city's radar. The last thing you want to do is have them call the city and complain about that. Okay? If they can't call you to complain about it, they're going to call the city and bitch. We use Price Labs for dynamic pricing and Guesty for the automation and integration. So Price Labs is pretty cool. So that one, it'll tell you if your property is going to get $100 a night, this, like say Thursday night or Wednesday night, or $500 for that Wednesday night, depending on what the vacancy rates are in the area and what's in town. They have all this really cool AI tech that works through all that shit. It's pretty awesome. Okay, this is my offer. I'd love to get into some Q&A, but we have a masterclass that my wife and I have put together. Okay, and every single month we are hosting a master class where we can teach students. You can come in to St. Louis and sit in on the class 8 hours, which I highly recommend doing that. Or you can do the virtual option. So this right here, can you guys see my screen, the Airbnb Masterclass with Matt Hayes?
Yes.
JJ?
Yes.
Okay. So this is my masterclass. You can reserve your seat here, but call me, DM me if you guys have any questions. Like, this is what we cover. We cover everything you need to know in this business. So how to locate property, how to analyze it. We teach you how to be an arbitrage ninja. Let's say you don't have the capital to get the bank funding. Well, we'll teach you how to contact local landlords to get you to rent them your house or their house. Check-in, check-out procedures, house rules, turnover process, email capturing for guests, negotiating with sellers, making your listing stand out in the crowd, becoming a superhost, getting reviews. That's like the number one thing you need to do. Private websites, branding and marketing, cleaning, setting up and furnishing your properties, systems and automation, working with neighbors in the city, reoccurring maintenance, dynamic pricing, interviewing property managers, optimizing your systems, how to deal with nasty guests. Shit happens, man. I've had some mild incidents, but some people have had some pretty big ones. VRBO integration, HomeAway integration, interviewing cleaners, books, board games, blankets, and much more. So theairbnbs.com. Guys, go there at your will. Check it out. Let me know what you think. I'm going to stop sharing. I'd love to open it up for questions. Just let me know what you guys think, man. Let's chat a little bit.
Okay, guys, if you got some questions, let's bring them on. Are all your Airbnbs in your state? And what's your opinion of people having, like, I'm in California, and actually I'm moving into Glendale. I'm getting a house, I'm taking over my mom's house in Glendale. There's no Airbnbs allowed there. Now, what's your opinion of investing maybe out of state for someone? I hear there are some states that are better for Airbnbs. What's your opinion about? I mean, obviously it's better if it's close, you can check on it, but what's your opinion about?
Here's the deal with that, JJ. I'm not trying to get political on this call tonight, but you have to buy property or manage property in red states.
Oh, yeah.
Do not do it in blue states.
Yeah, that's not political. That's just common sense.
Yeah. So horror story. Now, I don't want to get into horror stories, but there was a situation in a property in New York. Some people that I met this weekend, they were telling me about it. They could not get the guests out because of the bullshit New York laws.
Mm-hmm.
So that guest wasn't paying and was in their property. And I'm like, why the hell you got one in New York? So Missouri, the laws are you can walk in, kick them out. You're supposed to check out at 10. You didn't. C'est la vie, buddy.
Yeah, no, that to me, that's just common sense when it comes to investment. It's got nothing to do with politics. I mean, obviously some states are landlord friendly and some states are not.
That's right.
if we're going to invest, we want to invest in a landlord-friendly state, and that's just common sense for any real estate investor. Justin, you are on with Matt Hayes. What's your question?
Hey, how's it going? My name's Justin. Hey, thanks,
What's
JJ.
up, man?
Together. Matt, great presentation. So much value there. I really appreciate the time and the effort you put that slide together.
Thank you.
Very cool. Cheers. Cheers. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on, or do you midterm rent your properties as well? Do you get question, or do people reach out and say, hey, I would like to rent out your property more than 30 days or
Yeah, that happens. We got a couple properties. I like doing that in January and February. Those are traditionally slow months for us. So I am 100% open to those. I don't go longer than 90 days.
Okay. And then
I don't want them getting that comfortable in my house.
That sounds good. That sounds fair. And then another question, like, what are your thoughts on like getting into contracts with like agencies, like, you know, an ALE Solutions, where, you know, they cater mostly to medical travel professionals,
right? Traveling nurses,
or even like even displaced families that lost their wildfire.
Absolutely. So yes, I mean, that is a slightly different business model than the short-term rental. It's kind of more short-long, medium rental, I guess. There's not necessarily a word for it yet, but furnishedfinder.com is a good site for that. You can still put it on Airbnb. You just have to have a minimum requirement of 30, 60, or 90 days or whatever kind of you're gearing your towards. But you're not going to capture the kind of revenue that we do. You know, you just won't. That's just a given right there.
And then my last question, what do you use? Do you use Mashvisor or DNA? Like, what do you use to analyze your
So to analyze the property, we teach a system that's actually pretty simple in the course. We do use AirDNA to check, but what I like to do is, if let's say you're in a town of 40,000 people, you got 4 hotels, 5 hotels, whatever. So we'll take the average rate of those hotels and plug that number in with the vacancy rates. And so one thing that's interesting is there's this delicate balance between vacancy rates and then, of course, your pricing. So AirDNA is good, but it's not the end-all be-all. You can look at other Airbnbs in the area or VRBOs to kind of check those prices. But a lot of times, man, you start to develop a gut instinct, and that's kind of what we teach throughout our class.
That's great. Thank you so much. I have more questions, but I'm going to leave it up to the rest of the crew to ask some questions.
Yeah,
but
right on, man. Send me a text message. I'm going to drop my cell phone, guys, in here. You promise not to call me tonight, because I do have to run back down, and I have some obligations downstairs that I got to get to. But send me a text message, man, with your name and information. I'd love to chat with you guys if anybody's interested in more. Also, here's my email address in the chat box.
All right. You were hanging out with Ryan Pineda. Are you Future Flipper as well?
No, I'm not. What's that? One of them programs out there?
Ryan Pineda program. He's changing it. He's rebranding it to Wealthy Investor.
No, so him and I are in the same mastermind.
Oh.
So we're allies in the same collective. It's the collective genius. Look it up, CG. A lot of big Steve Tran, Sam Prim, just a lot of heavy hitting guys in this thing, and not like the Cody Spurbers or Pace Morby. Pace is a friend of mine. You know, that sort of thing. But these guys are really doing some cool shit. So anyways, yeah, we were chopping it up yesterday.
Amato and his wife Leo Neela out of Southern California. You guys, what's your question for Matt?
Yes, JJ, thank you, Matt, for a great share. I do really love it, because I like the way that you guys are like a husband and wife team up, which is what we are too. And thank you. And with Justin's asking you earlier about how do you determine if, let's say, if we have some rental portfolio out of state, and
Yeah.
to find out if it's good for a short term, because it's right now it's a long term rental that we have. So you mentioned about the Airbnb. Is it?
So airdna.co.
And then you also mentioned about looking at the, Airbnb in the area or the hotel.
Yeah,
because-
so if you have hotels locally, call them and see what their see what their price is per night.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'd like to, I'll reach out to you definitely, but not tonight, like what you said.
Yeah. Text me tonight, your name, email address, whatever. That's my email. That's my cell phone number. I'd love the opportunity to learn more about it. Yeah, my wife and I, she's not with me. She's back home with the kids, but we're a husband and a wife company. So I admire what you guys are doing for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Debbie, what's your question for Matt?
Hi, Matt. I have a short-term rental, and I have that with Red Awning is managing it,
Okay.
but I'm not getting very much rentals,
Bookings?
very many rentals.
Yeah.
And my question is it better to have a company like that or just a local management company?
So I don't know that company that you're referring to. Are they big?
They're not as big as Airbnb, but
Yeah.
they're like mid-sized, I guess.
So where is your property at?
It is in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach.
All right. Is it on the beach?
No, it's about 5-10 minutes to the beach.
A house?
It's a townhouse.
Townhouse?
Condo.
Okay. Well, I'd love to see the listing, but are you on multiple platforms?
Yes, they put it out to Airbnb, Verbo, all them.
Well, I would love to see your listing. I mean, it's really hard for me to just tell you exactly what to do without seeing the dirty little details, but send it over to me. Text it to
I
me
will.
or email it, and I'd love to check it out,
Okay.
Matt, to follow on her question, do you use and you probably mentioned this already. I've been doing 3 things over here. Is there do you manage these yourselves? Some you don't manage? Are there companies that you might recommend for somebody?
Well, yeah, it just depends on the area, right? Like I know management companies in a few different states, but obviously not every state, every market. I could guide you in Kansas City, I can guide you in St. Louis, and I can guide you in a few areas of Florida. In Florida, Beaches USA, great company there. They're on the Pinellas County Gulf side. If you're in St. Louis, my wife and I are opening up our management company next year. So, that would be something that you guys would want to reach out to me directly. Yeah, I mean, as far as companies specifically, my wife and I, we manage all of our properties directly there in St. Louis. And then I think someone asked here in the chat a web address for my rental properties. So we're actually in the middle of updating all of that. So I don't have a link for you just now, but when that happens, I'd love to send it to you. So just shoot me a text and I'll make sure I put you on the list to send out.
Mike Walton, you're on with Matt Hayes. What's your question?
Hey, Matt. I see
up,
you're
Mike?
making tons of money. How do you keep from paying tons of taxes?
Own the real estate.
Oh, so what about the arbitrage ones? Oh,
So I
you're
only
saying
have
to
4
offset it with the depreciation.
Yeah, I only have 4 arbitrage properties.
Okay,
The other 26 of them are full ownership.
gotcha. Okay.
So here's the thing, man. This is a little ninja technique right here. We do cost aggregation studies on all our properties. So cost aggregation study allows us to advance the depreciation up from the 29, 30-year period up to a 3, 5, 7-year period, and all these different increments.
Okay.
Now, at the end of those, I'll be looking for other tax savings options. But yes, the depreciation is a very, very big expense that we take advantage of.
Okay.
Because you can depreciate all the furniture in your asset, and all the other wearables that go along with the property.
And the arbitrage also, you can do that.
No, you cannot depreciate anything with
Oh.
the arbitrage. That is
No.
strictly, yeah,
Okay.
that is
Good to know.
strictly, yeah, that's strictly cash, whatever your tax bracket is. Again, I'm not an accountant. I just do what those smart people tell me. I will say this, that I haven't paid taxes in a long time.
Okay.
We've
right,
been
thank
doing
you.
pretty well.
I've got some property in California, and I've got a really good accountant. When you're using certain tax write-offs on your properties and you're bringing those from a 30-year to a shorter year period, after that shorter period expires,
hmm
do you still hang on to those properties? Do you flip those over for newer properties where you could then get that
No,
7-year
I mean,
period again?
again, I'll let you know when that happens. Obviously, that's, still 5 to 7 years away. So beautiful thing to be able to make those decisions on what you want to do. I'll be looking for other means of of tax sheltering or whatnot, right? Using the tax code the way that it was written.
Great. Yeah, good. Grace, you are on with Matt Hayes. What's your question?
Thanks so much, Matt, for coming on, because this is kind of perfect timing. My husband and I were also business partners, so that's neat to hear just the way that you and your wife are running it. So
Yeah,
we're closing on 3 in Indiana. So we're in California, investing in Indiana and right near Notre Dame. So we're planning to make those into short-term rentals.
awesome.
And trying to figure out we're planning to manage it ourselves virtually, but I'm also curious, like, in terms of if we try to look for property management there, are there any questions that you would recommend us like screening specifically for short-term rentals?
Yeah, that's probably a longer conversation. So definitely call and text me. And let's have that one-off conversation, right? So we'll take up the Zoom for 30 minutes on how that goes.
Okay.
Here I'll drop this in the chat box too. This is my personal this is my calendar, 15minuteswithmatt.com. If you guys want to chat with me directly, go to that, book yourself a slot. But to answer your question, Grace, yes, can you manage them? 100%. And I think you should. Just for the simple fact that that's 15 to 25% of your money that you want to keep. And I can teach you how to set up the automation and then what you need to do with the boots on the ground in the area to make sure that you get the revenue, or that you make sure you maintain your guests. The questions that I would ask the property manager, we don't like really big ones. That's a red flag for us. We really want that Midwest work ethic, which you'll get in Indiana. You just want to make sure that property manager, A, has the experience, and B, is going to put the time into your property as he would treat his own. I don't like property managers, even though I'm kind of one of them, that would put his property above somebody else's.
Matt, what you just said really resonated with me. I've got a rental property in Cleveland. I'm in Los Angeles. It's my first out-of-state property. And the person that locked me into that property, because they moved so many properties, got me one of these bigger property management companies. And that was just such a nightmare. And we found someone that was a little bit, I don't know if she's smaller or not, but she's much more personal, does a heck of a lot better job, because it doesn't seem to be that big corporate kind of a thing. So I just wanted to just say that was an excellent comment. You had excellent suggestion about staying away from the larger corporate kind of properties.
Yeah, for sure, my man.
I'm going to bring somebody on right now, Matt, who's been with my group for a couple of years, a dear friend of mine, and happens to be in Missouri. And when she joined the group, she was looking to try and make things happen. And, as we all do in the beginning with a bit of frustration, was kind of trying to break through. And I kind of showed her how to network. Her business is going a little bit, but she's got some rentals. And I'm going to introduce to you my good friend out of Missouri, Lori Hollis. Lori, you're on with Matt Hayes. What's your question?
Hi,
Hey,
Matt.
Laura.
I've actually talked to you on the phone once or twice because I think you had a class coming up and I couldn't attend. So
Oh, yeah.
here,
The name
yes.
looked familiar for sure.
Yeah, I'm in St. Louis as well. So one day I'll get there. But I just want to thank you for presenting today. And I came in late. I was actually over at one of my rentals, so I did not hear your presentation. But I do have questions, and I guess it comes mostly with property management of those. And you said you're going to have a company here, but what types of questions are the ones if you're screening somebody for short-term rentals? How do you interview those?
So wait a minute. So your question is, how do we interview short-term rental guests?
Property managers.
Oh, how do we interview property managers?
Yes.
Yes. So that is a longer conversation. I don't totally want to tie up the room for that. You got my cell phone number.
Yeah.
Give me a call.
All right.
And we'll have that conversation. For rule number one, I've got a no asshole policy. So if they're an asshole, I don't do business with them, or they seem like one, or know it all, I'm out. Then we have a whole sheet. You can ask all these questions. I'm coming from this off of memory, but at the end of the day, it just boils down to making sure that they're fulfilling your needs, and that you're attending to your questions, and that they are really good at what they do and they have a track record of success. Because if they don't have a track record for success and they want you to be their test dummy, I got problems with that. I don't want to be someone's test dummy. I don't want someone to learn how to do it on my property. I also don't want them to be too big and have 500 to 1,000 properties, and then I'm just another drop in the bucket to them, and they don't even know who I am or whatnot. The bigger companies like Vacasa and Magic something or other, those ones right there, they don't know who you are or what you are. You're just another property, and they're going to give you one roll of toilet paper, one paper towel, one little this, one little that. Not a good service. We want to go above and beyond to all of our guests so they have amazing experience. So they leave me 5-star reviews every single time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that because it kind of speaks to the whole thing. And in real estate, it's all relationship based. And so if you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's very good. Thank you so much.
You guys, Matt's got his number out there. If you didn't get Matt's number, get with me. I can put you in touch with him. I've got Matt's link for his calendar to schedule a phone call. Matt, we can find you on Instagram. Is that a good place to follow you? Or
yeah, I mean, if it's on Instagram, I'm trying to grow my following there. That's what Kong. I just did a video with Kong. He's got like 4 million followers. Dude makes $200,000 a year, or excuse me, $200,000 a month. Right there. I just did that video a few hours ago. So throw me a comment or something in there or whatever. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you. I appreciate the opportunity to jump on here with you, JJ. I look forward to chatting you some more in the future here, man. And, if there's anything you need from me, bro, just give me a holler, okay, dude?
Will do, my friend. Hey, if you guys are watching the video now on YouTube, please like Matt's video. Please put some comments down there in the chat. Contact me if you want to get hold of Matt. If you don't get the information from the show itself, look for more videos from Flip Side Up and look for me at jjazizian.com. On behalf of Matt and myself, thanks for watching us today. If you're on the show, stick around, don't leave. We're going to do breakout rooms. But everybody else on YouTube world, thanks for joining us. Look for more. See you soon.